interesting about you. I feel like you're lying. Hey guys, did you miss our face?
I didn't.
Look at that. Come on. How much longer do you have? You just gonna keep the mustache after that?
Hell no.
Come on, dude. A couple days of just.
This is the worst part. This is what I'm looking forward to the most about getting rid of it. Yep.
All right.
Like duct tape, just taking it right off.
Oh, all right. So you guys ready for the quarterfinals?
Show them the bracket one more time.
One more time,
so you guys know.
Forgot.
Yep. We went in seed order. So here we are.
Yeah. So we're
John versus Mox, TJ versus Jamie, Matt versus Jeremy, Keenan versus Dwayne. Guess what?
It's gonna be a good one.
I got results in already for you.
Tell me about it.
Jamie Armel couldn't show up.
No, he couldn't.
TJ, easy 2-0. He's already in the semifinals.
He did it. Real life got in the way. Said, hey, I got an event I got to go to.
Yeah.
Deuces.
Handlebar stash seems fitting? No.
Yeah.
No.
See?
No.
I support it.
It's gone.
The problem is we have to donate a lot more money for the kids in order for that to happen.
That's right. See me next year.
So
like we said, Matt's our new face, so of course he's going to hit the camera first for our quarterfinal match, and we're going to jump right in with Matt versus Jeremy. Ad Nauseam versus Lantern Control.
Oh my gosh, apparently I didn't reset stuff.
Oh man, here we go.
It's like I came prepared.
Here we go.
The first couple minutes of the match, guys.
Here we are. Shuffling up. We already know that there's going to be permanents on the battlefield.
Right, people are going to play spells and stuff.
Yeah.
That means I probably didn't reset the other stuff.
Can't change it now.
Yeah, there's that way to do that thing.
You'll break it, though.
What do you mean I'll break it?
We've broken it before.
Oh, yeah. See, look, I didn't reset anything.
Oh, no. Alright, we'll just tell them to close their eyes.
I think these ones might be okay.
Jeremy's ready to go.
That one's not.
Jeremy is ready to go. Don't forget, guys, now that we're finally hopping into the matches, if there's any cards that you guys are interested in looking at, all you have to do is an exclamation point card in chat and the name of the card, and you don't even have to be close.
No, you could spell like I do and get the cards
exactly. Right. Spell like Nan, you're still going to get it right. But, I mean, I like the fact that we're able to kind of do interviews, look at decks, analyze them, see what people are thinking, and kind of talk about it before we do the matches.
Right.
That way, we kind of, maybe they hope they hear us before they start their matches. Like, oh no, don't forget the Hercules recall, Matt. Look out.
So, ad nauseum, we talked about during that whole interview process thing, it's a combo-based deck. It can go off pretty quickly. But when you're relying on scrying cards to the top and looking at your top two cards to figure out what's going to be added to your hand, when your opponent also gets to see what's on the top and controls what you draw, it can be difficult.
True. Very true. Jeremy just kind of hoping that he's going to be quick out of the gate.
Well, so you sit down there and you're going to keep something that you feel, if you're playing like this ad nauseum, I need to play something quick that I can just get going initially, not knowing what I'm playing.
Right.
And now you see this.
Wow. I mean, I think, honestly, what do you think when you see Botanical Sanctum into a Grafdigger's Cage?
I mean, the only...
Is there any other deck...
Yeah, it's like Lantern Control is the only one that's kind of running that combination. And most lists are, if they're running Grafdigger's Cage, it's in the sideboard. It's not main board.
Right.
But so here we go, sleight of hand. Here's the two. Got to decide which one I want to add to my hand and which one's going to not.
I mean, I think he's trying to figure out, alright, are you playing Lantern Control?
Yeah.
And if you are playing Lantern Control, what do you have in your hand?
What do you have already? If I draw this card that I want...
And he's going to take the Lotus Petal.
Yeah, and immediately going to suspend
Or Lotus Bloom, I'm sorry.
So that means in 3 turns from now, he'll have access to 3 extra mana, essentially.
Yeah. Untap draw.
And I got to give a shout out to Jeremy as well. He was nice enough to place those dice.
Oh, yes.
And say, this is the edge. Do not put stuff outside of this edge.
Yeah.
So
we got A couple lands.
Couple lands, Spoils of the Vault, a Simian Spirit Guide in there.
Oh, yeah, there it
and
is.
an Angel's Grace.
Okay, alright.
So he does have some pretty good targets. Matt, with an Inquisition, he also has that Thoughtseize, I believe, in his hand, too. So, like, he's set up to start really stripping away at the kind of setup cards that Jeremy wants. And I like going for something like Angel's Grace here.
Get rid of the protection.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's a protection spell. He doesn't have any other piece for his combo.
Alright, we're going to draw. Plays a Temple of Enlightenment. Gets to scry a card. Why does he have 3 of the same card in his hand? What is that card?
Who?
Matt.
War of Invention.
Oh, he's got 3 Whir in his hand?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
The problem is, you don't want to have 3 in your hand because you don't have the artifacts to kind of let you cheat
like
what you want.
Hey man, if I don't have any, here's an Academy.
I mean, he can get something that costs 1 though, so he can be like, you know what, I'm just going to spend them all and get like my setup cards that I need to start cycling through and figuring out what you're doing. But like with Thoughtseize and things like that, you don't think you have to worry too much right now. But
Seagram Coast, here's 3.
Yeah.
Here's Phyrexian Unlife. Phyrexian Unlife is a pretty neat card. Basically, once you hit 0, you start taking poison damage.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
And then once you get to -10, obviously that's when the game is over. Here's a Thoughtseize. Matt's going to go to 18. The interesting thing about Phyrexian Unlife is you can take a huge swing and you're just down to 0. Like anything that puts you to 0 will put you to 0 first. So it's not like here's 20 coming at you, and I'm at 7, now you're dead. No, literally I'm at 0, I have another turn. I have another turn.
It buffers you. Now, the Codex Shredder and stuff like that, you can start cycling through. So Jeremy is now set up where he's got all the mana he needs. All he needs is an Ad Nauseam, and he can win.
Well, basically what's in Matt's hand, yes.
Matt, on the other hand, though, has a safety net by having the Whir now. Because he can say, I can find a Pithing Needle and shut down your Lightning Storm.
True.
And that buys me a turn, essentially, if you do not have an Angel's Grace available to you. But guess what? You're going to draw your whole deck, so you will. Right. But to basically get your Laboratory Maniac out.
Yeah.
So it basically says he needs to get a a Pithing Needle and have another Thoughtseize or an Inquisition available to him, so he can counteract the Lightning Storm and be able to. Oh, there's the Pithing Needle right there.
All right, glad we drew it.
So
Pithing
Needle, naming Lightning Storm, protect me against one of your win cons.
Right. Jeremy says, fine. No, it's cool.
I can win another way.
Yeah, it's fine. Here's a Serum Visions. I like how they're not going to take any damage.
Yeah,
this is my favorite game so far. No, I'm not interested in, hitting you with your life total, except for a one-time strike.
So now Matt is set up that he can get anything that costs, any artifact that costs 3 or less.
Yeah.
So I don't mind him using one of those right now to get a Lantern of Insight.
Okay.
At this point, you already have the Codex Shredder. You already have the Pithing Needle. Why worry about it?
Let's just go ahead and see what's on top of the deck.
Yeah.
And we'll just make sure
because you're not worried about anybody attacking or anything like that. So, Lantern of Insight comes. And he's got that Codex Shredder still untapped, so he can be able to, get rid of stuff. And
Spoils.
That's a great one to say, no, you cannot have that.
The power level of this deck is just it's mind-boggling, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, like, it requires a very, very attentive player.
And you have to be very knowledgeable
Right.
about the modern format.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's good, what's bad, what can you keep, what can't you keep. Look at that bobble on top.
Mm-hmm.
Still got 2 whir in hand. Get rid of that Angel's Grace, please.
Don't
Thank
have
you.
A land?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I don't know what you have in your hand, but you can have that land. Yeah, I'll just put that into play. It's fine. Oh look, Lotus Bloom.
Put a storage counter on that land.
It's that Dreadship Reef.
Mm-hmm.
We're for 3.
What's he gonna find here? What does he care about getting at this point? Okay.
Witchbane Orb.
Witchbane Orb. He's
Just
got
kind of
Hexproof,
solidify.
You know, another way to help protect him.
Yeah, Jeremy now has to kind of slog through not only the Pithing Needle, which we can only assume has named Lightning Storm.
Yeah.
But also the Witchbane Orb.
So now the only way that Jeremy can win game 1
is
Laboratory Maniac.
Yep. Unless he can, like, wish his way into his Hercule Recall. Pentad Prism on top. He's going to cast and suspend a Lotus Bloom. We're not in any rush here.
Nah.
Add a storage counter.
There's no time limit for this match. So.
Nope. What's on top? Oh, look, another Lantern of Insight. It was on Lightning Storm. It's been confirmed.
Oh, nice. Perfect. So Matt is really hoping for... he says, I got 3 lands. Or 2 lands and 2 Simian Spirit guys. What would you like? Guess the Simian Spirit guy.
You're going to get 1.
You'll lose 2 more life, drop into 16. But Matt's really hoping for more Codex Shredders, Pixis Pandemonium, some other ways to like strip away cards. He could go for the Pirate Spell Bomb at this point if he wanted to, and say, I'm going to deal 2 damage to you and reoccur that every turn. But it's like a slow thing. You really want to have more set up before you get into that route. Because he's already got the Academy Runes, he can bring back artifacts and stuff, so he could be able to, every turn, deal 2 damage.
Right.
Slow, right? So you really need to be set up where you can, for sure, make sure your opponent is not going to be able to draw the stuff that they need.
Yeah.
I personally like him saving the Thought Seize, though.
Okay.
But again, because the only way he can win is with the Simian Spirit Guide, you know.
I saw him thumbing through and holding on to that Pixis, and I was like, yes, get that Pixis. Don't get that Ensnaring Bridge. If Jeremy had just waited another turn before hard casting that Simian Spirit Guide, there could be the potential, obviously, that Matt just kind of says, you know what, I'm going to get the Pixis instead. Mm-hmm. That's his 3rd Whir of Invention. You know, I think Jeremy probably sat in that game going, you had 3 Whir of Invention? Yeah. Holy moly.
This is a very laid-back game 1 for both players.
Oh, sure.
Like, it's, well, hey, look, there's Lightning Storm.
No, yeah, right on time. Can't do anything with this card.
Now, remember, Pithing Needle says the activated abilities of the card cannot be activated. And if you guys are not familiar with Lightning Storm, I'll put it up in chat for you guys again.
Here's a Pentad Prism.
So Lightning Storm costs 3, 1, red. For our instant, deals X damage to our creature or player, where X is 3 plus the number of charge counters on it. You can discard a land to put 2 charge counters on Lightning Storm, and you can choose new targets for it. Any player can activate this ability but only if Lightning Storm is on the stack. So if you had a bunch of lands in your hand, you can also activate it to kind of redirect the damage kind of thing. But because it's an activated ability to discard land and put a charge counter on it, you're not too worried about taking damage when you have a Pithing Needle targeting that, or Witchbane Orb protecting you. Charge counter.
Sure. I mean, Jeremy's basically playing the same game that Matt is. Pact of Negation's going to hit the graveyard. And there's a Phyrexian Unlife. I mean, so what's Matt's win here? Is it just milling Jeremy down? Because even if he casts Lab Maniac and gets milled down, does he...
Jeremy would still win.
He's still winning, right?
So he has to, Matt has to now Pyrite Spellbomb, put him to 0, and then do 10 points of poison damage.
By recurring the Pyrite Spellbomb?
By recurring... yeah, right? Phyrexian Unlife.
Looks like Inventor's Fair is going to hit the graveyard.
Yeah, all damage dealt to you as though its source has had an infect. So the Pyrite Spellbomb would deal. So he's going to, sacrifice that land to find an artifact. And he opts to go for the... he goes for kind of more disruption against his opponent here. And that, you are setting yourself up to lock your opponent out more, right? I really am going to prevent you from drawing into anything. Now I have, 2 ways essentially, because he's got 2 Kodak Shredders to stop him from being able to draw into Laboratory Maniac or anything like that.
Reels a Pixis on top, plays a Mox Opal, passes back. And this is essentially what this game is probably going to be like until either Jeremy doesn't have cards or Matt gets the Pyrite Spellbomb. Honestly, is there ever a bad time to start doing the Pyrite? In this instance?
You have to be careful about making sure you have enough protection. I think once you're at 2, that's probably the safest way to do it.
Okay.
Because if your opponent has say a Serum Vision or something on the top, and you're like, I don't want them to have that, right? I'll make sure I mill that. And then the next card underneath of that happens to be Ad Nauseam, then you're like, well, now I have no way to stop that. But by setting yourself up so you have, that 2-3 card buffer, it works out well. Because you don't want to try to go all in on this Pyrite Spellbomb plan, because by reoccurring it off the Academy runes, it goes on the top of your library, so you're not getting any new draws. And if that is the case, that also means that you're, if you have Pixis, for example, you can't use Pixis, because that exiles the top card of both players' library. Alright, another Spoil of the Vaults hanging out on top for Jeremy. But again, it's just kind of my field is covered in lands. Alright, everything that's laid out here, guys, is all on the battlefield. It's just basically double layers of lands.
Right.
There's all the artifacts. Enchantments, actually triple layer of lands, because that storage land up there is hanging out. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, if I get rid of not 1 but 2 Ensnaring Bridges, I'm coming for you.
Another Pixis. It says you can mill your card, and you can mill your card.
Yep.
And there's an Ad Nauseam on top. So he'll draw this Pixis.
This is great.
And he can say, Codex Shredder will mill that.
Oh.
And I'll play this
City
Pixis.
Grass. Sure, pass. Take a land that damages you.
And he'll probably wait on the Pixis, maybe, if he wants to, keep his pithing needle. I don't know if it's necessary since he's already got one. Like, he's not really worried about much more activated abilities from his opponent right now.
If he turns that Lab Maniac into the graveyard, is it pretty much done?
Yeah, I think at that point you just enter scoop phase. Like, that's the only other way for Jeremy to win, and I think as long as it's still an option, he's going to play it out because there's no time.
Sure.
Right? And Matt just kind of hanging out with all those baubles, like, ready to sack them and draw some cards.
Mill 1.
Show me.
Mill 2.
Get rid of that.
Mill...
He doesn't, like, he's fine with it because he's like, I'll get another Kodak Shredder. And now I get 3 guaranteed mills plus 2 exile effects. Like, you now have to fight through 5 cards if you... So you better hope that whatever cards you've got hanging out there is sitting there, you know, the 6 card down.
Yep. Get rid of 1.
Well, I guess it'd have to be more than 6. Because he'll get 5 exile or discard effects.
And then he's got the lantern.
And then... Well, so he's got the 5, and then he'll untap and go to his turn. And he essentially gets 5 more. So he has to have it at least be at 11 cards down.
I don't know how many cards he's got in his main deck there, but Ancient Searings.
Well, there's the other word. I'll find this land.
Yep, gets a Botanical Sanctum. Reveals a Spire of Industry.
Let's get rid of that.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you sit there and you're like, all right, you could draw that.
Sure.
I
Yeah,
know
why not?
that's a safe draw for you to have.
Yep. Get rid of that. Get rid of that.
None of those. His deck is dwindling.
You know what's funny? Is that Lab Maniac, unless it's in his hand, which I think we would have saw.
Well, there's another Ad Nauseam.
It's
Last
literally
one.
at the bottom.
Yeah. And we'll be seeing it shortly. Because he's going to... Inquisition, what do you got left? Oh, just that land? Okay. Mill your top card. And mill your top card. And exile your top card.
Yeah, and Jeremy just says, okay, good. Yep.
Wow. That worked out well for Matt. That was like what he was hoping.
I think Matt wants to see that
happen.
once more.
Yeah, like a triple Word of Invention main in your opening hand.
I was a little worried about it, honestly. I thought, yeah, that all 3 words is great, but after the second one, I was like, yeah, never mind. He's good.
It's all good. No, I think a lot of it was because he had the Inquisition and Thoughtseize, and Jeremy had the mana accelerators, but didn't have as much protection until it was like, all right, I lost my protection. I lost one of my accelerators in the sense like my Spoil the Vaults to find the cards I need. But at least I got a Phyrexian life on the battlefield. So all I need is an Ad Nauseam. Right? And
That's
then
true.
I can
That's true.
get my Laboratory Maniac and get you. And Matt was just like, no, not going to happen. And it's like, that was at the bottom of Jeremy's libraries, and there was no way he was going to get it that max. So, sideboard time. We know there's double Hercules recall hanging out in Jeremy's.
Oh, man. It's going to feel good.
Like,
After
ready?
that first game.
Especially with the amount of artifacts that were out there.
Yep.
Like, you can sit there and go, alright, end step of your turn. Bounce them all.
Yep.
Oh, you now have to discard down to 7.
Oh,
Enjoy.
feels pretty
Like,
good.
it's different, too, because, you see Matt is like, these ensnaring bridges are useless. Like, yeah, I got them, but I didn't need them.
No.
Like, I don't know about the pithing needle coming out, though.
Well...
We brought all 3 out?
Oh.
I don't...
maybe he feels like...
He can disrupt enough and to make that not worth it?
Well, I mean, so you've got, what, effectively 12 ways to mill cards away?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, 8.
Got...
At least 8. 2 Pixis, 4 Codex. No, 14. Lantern of Insight can make you shuffle.
It can make you shuffle, right.
So there's effectively 14 ways to get rid of cards out of a 60-card deck.
I agree that taking out the Ensnaring Bridges makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like the idea of him bringing in, like, Abrupt Decay.
Okay.
Because you can be like, Abrupt Decay your Phyrexian Life.
Yep.
You know, you can do things like that. But the Pithing Needle, like, I ran Pithing Needle in the sideboard of almost every deck, just in case I ran into, like, Ad Nauseam.
Sure.
I mean, it does so well in so many different matchups. Like, there's so many activated abilities, like Planeswalkers and things like that you can be able to hit with it. So it's like, it seems weird to me not to keep a card that specifically turns off one of your opponent's win conditions. But I guess it because that's all it does is basically say no more Lightning Storm. There's not much else that you care about hitting.
Right.
So maybe he is on a 4 Pithing Needle plan and like 4 mainboard. I doubt that, though.
I don't remember.
I'm now gonna look. We can do that.
Three.
Yeah, so I don't like that. Like, I like bringing in Abrupt Decay. Well, maybe he decided Leyline of Sanctity is more important.
Could be.
You know, but your ability to search up for an artifact at instant speed is, okay, cast Ad Nauseam, response, you know, Word of Invention, get Pithing Needle. So you essentially are paying 3 mana and tapping 1 artifact to get a Pithing Needle. It seems better to be safe than sorry, almost. But I guess, hey, if I have Leyline, I'm safe. I don't have to worry about it. And I can bring in those other things, like I can bring in Extirpates, right? I can bring in the Abrupt Decay. Like, I've got other stuff I could choose to use. I don't know. Jeremy, we talked about some of the stuff he's got. He's got access to, like, Echoing Truth, which he can bounce non-land permanent and all of the permanents with the same name. He can bring in Hurkyl's Recall. He can bring in, those are the main ones that I see him bringing in. Leyline, maybe.
Is it target? Is Codex and all of that target?
Yes. So, like, some Pixis is each player. Codex is target player.
Yep. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so you have those options for the players to try to use. Alright, both players shuffling up, getting ready for game number 2 here. Codex Shredder, Ancient Stirring.
There you go.
Yep, pre-game effect. Now
instant keep.
Codex Shredder seems kind of painful.
Yep. Serum Visions, draw a card, scry 2.
Jeremy was also on the draw game 1. Now is on the play game 2.
I think it's better to be on the play with Leyline of Sanctity.
Mm-hmm.
All the time, especially in a matchup like this.
Yeah, it's like Leyline protects you against Codex Dreader, protects against Pyrite. Also, those Inquisitions and Thoughtseize that kept disrupting you.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't use them. Sorry.
Here's Ancient Stirrings off of Botanical Sanctum from Matt. Let's take a look at the top 6, right? 5? 5. Gets a Mox Opal.
Alright.
Plays said Mox Opal.
Mm-hmm.
And then passes back. Untap draw.
Okay, so Matt's in chat and let us know that his sideboard, he decided to minus the Cage, minus 3 Needle, Witchbane, and a Bridge to add in Grudge, Ancient Grudge, 2 Abrupt Decay, 2 Extirpate, 1 Search for Azcanta, and 1 Nature's Claim. I like the Nature's Claim. You can destroy, just like Abrupt Decay lets you be able to destroy that. Phyrexian on life and stuff, so I like that.
Yeah, but it kind of opens you up, right? Like,
I personally, so he basically said, I'm going to rely on destroying your stuff and hope that you don't set up quick enough to kill me with Lightning Storm. Is really, I'm basically getting rid of some of my protection towards myself to have more interaction against you.
Because right now he's on the hope that he's going to find that claim, or he's going to find that...
Yeah, and so Matt's saying the matchup is about lock as soon as possible and not preventing what they do, which, I can understand that. Lock them out of it, and, like, getting Lantern, getting Codex, getting the Pixis and stuff out. But I personally like having the protection of a Pithing Needle when they're going to try to kill you with a Lightning Storm kind of thing.
I mean, I guess he could draw a Claim.
Yeah.
Claim would get rid of Sanctity, and then he's got the Decays on backup for the Unlife.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a Pixis of Pandemonium. We pass back on tap. Looks like it's going to be a sleight of hand.
So, Pixis can get rid of that? Oh. I would like to cast this.
Yeah, we're just going to go for it.
See, this is the moment where I would be happy to be like, okay, we're of invention for Pithing Needle.
Right.
You get Laboratory Maniac, sure, but that gives me at least an extra turn to try to get something else going. Alright, at least you have a handful of stuff. You have to discard down to 7 after that. Of course, you're going to keep that Laboratory Maniac in your hand. But that maybe gives me a chance to find something else I can do. Okay, so Matt was saying that he was going off of a guide to help him for this particular matchup because he had not had as much experience in this particular matchup, like Lantern Control versus Ad Nauseam, when he says that he changed his board for Game 3 and goes back through and looks at it. And yeah, you can see it looks like he's grabbing Witchbane Orb and stuff, and grabs, pulls Pithing Needles back up to the top here and debating about adding them back in there, it looks like. So, Ad Nauseam is a powerful deck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it's dangerous to only try for the lock. Like,
well, I think I like the try to lock as soon as possible.
yes.
But I think we learned that we want to keep at least in this matchup. If you have pithing needles like Matt does, you want to keep some number of them.
Right, and I think even just the 1/1, like keeping that as just kind of a saving grace emergency plan, right?
I mean, if you're running 4 Whir of Invention, you're gonna have a decent time to kind of draw into that pithing needle off of the Whir.
Yeah, and the issue is leyline. Right, which is true, and it's like Matt is sitting with one answer. And if he does not have that one answer, well, guess I gotta try to delay and hope for the best.
Mm-hmm.
Hope that I have something to be able to help me get to there. Like, yes, you'll get a Laboratory Maniac. I won't be able to strip that from your hand if you have a ley line, but I buy an extra turn so I can Codex myself, I can Pixis myself, and try to dig a little bit deeper. If he has leyline, you know, the chances of victory dwindle down more because the deck has the disruption in it. Inquisition, Thoughtseize. Now, Matt's hoping he's on the play, so he's hoping that he has a better chance here. Okay, fingers crossed you do not keep a leyline hand.
Right.
Hopefully you don't mull to try to get one, but...
Yeah, I mean, I would find it very difficult for Jeremy not to at least mull once, if not twice.
Right? Just try it.
Just try it. You know, we have... The only thing that he's losing out at this point is the bragging rights to say that he's the second-time champion.
Right.
But I think it's worth it.
Yeah, both are sitting 1-1 right now. They're in a good position going into it. Whoever wins this moves on to the semifinals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the exact numbers for the payout, but I know that there is a difference. A decent difference, I'd say, between the quarterfinals and the semis.
Absolutely.
But I can't say off the top of my head the exact numbers right now. So there is a Pithing Needle, Ancient Grudge, Inquisition, Lantern in Matt's hand.
Jeremy going back.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta try it.
Mm-hmm.
And that could have been a decent hand too, but could have been very susceptible to disruption.
Mm-hmm.
And so he probably is like, you know, I didn't get a chance to look at Jeremy's hand before he threw it back to really see where he was feeling about it. But like you said, it's worth it to try and
I would say at least once.
Yeah. I think I saw one. I think it's in his hand. Yeah, Scry. Pre-game effect.
Yep, there it is.
You may go. All right. Let's take a look.
What did you keep on top?
All right, lands for both players. Jeremy draws the land. There's an Angel Grace on top. Play land, sleight of hand, or serum, and get said Angel's Grace.
Sure.
Yep, there's the serum. Draw. Let's scry 2. He says this is on top. I will also look at this mystery card, and we'll keep both on top. Yikes. doing that debate and says, I do not need this, so I'll reveal the card, another Serum Vision.
Okay.
And pass it on over to Matt. So he'll untap, draw his land. Well, there's the Witchbane Orb. So those cards that he brought back in are now all right up here at the front.
Yep. And Witchbane Orb is actually pretty good. Makes Matt hexproof if he's able to cast it.
Mm-hmm.
And is kind of providing him a little bit more protection. It buys him a couple turns, I think. Pithing Needle, Ancient Grudge, it looks like an Ensnaring Bridge as well, sitting in his hand.
Yeah. Okay. This makes the most sense. Like, he's got 2 dead cards in hand, and then the other 2 don't really help him right now. Ah! Here's a second Leyline. Spock! Thank you for the follow.
Yo, appreciate that, dude.
Glad you're liking the stream tonight. So there's the Serum Vision. He's going to do a looky-loo here, debating what he wants to add to his hand. The other one's going to go to the bottom. This is now on top.
Spoils.
Spoils of the Vault hanging out on top. One thing that Jeremy's kind of low on is those lands and mana accelerators. We know he drew this earlier, but he's just like setting up now. He's like, well, now I just need to get some of my mana accelerators, and I'll be good. Like, we know he's got an Angel's Grace. We know he's got the Spoils of the Vault. So he's got, like, protection, way to find combo piece, just not the mana to really go off right now. So this is still giving Matt time to find the stuff he needs.
Untap, draw. Another dead card.
Like, you really... Like, Matt's gotta hope that he can find some ways to start digging through his deck.
Right.
Like, no Codex Shredder right now. No Pixis. Well, we're gonna store some mana on that land.
I mean, he could shuffle his deck and...
Yeah, he could shuffle his deck, but it's like...
Lantern only hits one player,
right?
Right.
Okay. And Lantern allowing him to know kind of where he's set up at this point. Like, okay, how close are you? Right? With this Simian Spirit Guide, that'll put you at 4 mana.
Right.
You essentially need more mana than that. You need like 6 mana to essentially protect yourself and get out.
Both are drawing fairly poorly.
Yeah.
Well, we know that Pithing Needle's got to be on Lightning Storm.
Oh, yeah.
So, even with that Nauseam...
Oh, my
my.
Like, this...
What's a 4th?
This would be so nice if there was no Leyline. Because you're like, I just destroy everything that he's storing up in his hand right now. Just let's play this card so it's out of my hand.
Play it in Ensnaring Bridge.
There's that storage counter.
He got to like 11, I think, last time. Temple of Enlightenment on top.
Here's another land.
I mean, if you're not really doing anything, I think you just play another Leyline. Just ensure that you're always going to be protected.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like at this point, too, though, he wants to add up more storage counters. Like... Alright. Debating.
Counting his mana. He's got a Simian in hand.
Yeah, he's got what he needs. I'm going to use these 2. Simian gets exiled. Yeah. Here's my Ad Nauseam.
Angel's Grace.
Here's my
on
Angel's
stack.
Grace. So, knowing his opponent essentially has one turn.
Spreading out his permanents. Yo, Uncle Biggs. Biggs, what's up, dude?
Thanks for the follow. I would like to...
Take 0 life damage.
Yeah.
Take 4?
So, he has to do it this way. Because every card that he's going to be drawing off of ad nauseam is revealed. There's that nice Hercules.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. He also has to be careful because of his life total. Because he, at this point, he has to pass.
Right, so he has to sit here.
He's still taking the damage, right? It just prevents him from dying?
It puts him to 1.
If he takes anything past it.
Yeah, so Angel's Grace basically buffers him to say he if his life total would fall below 1, it goes to 1.
Okay, so yeah, he's able to draw as much as he can and just goes to 1.
Can't lose the game this turn. Your opponents can't win the game until the end of turn. Damage that reduce your life total to less than 1. Reduce it to 1 instead. So he can be able to draw his whole library.
I don't know if he's going to, though.
Why not at this point? Like, you draw your whole deck, right? Now you can sit here and say, okay, he's
playing islands.
Has he
exile simians and?
Well, has he played a land this turn?
I think he played that plains. Maybe that was last turn. Yeah, and then you exile, play Lab Maniac, pass.
Yeah.
I think that's all you can do.
Yeah.
Alright, so Jeremy's down to 1. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. I didn't see a Laboratory Maniac.
So, use 1, use 2. Here, I would like to get my Pentad Prism with 2 storage counters on it. Use both of them for blue.
Is Lab 2?
Laboratory Maniac costs 3 mana.
3 mana, 2 blue?
No. 1 blue, 2 colorless. So I guess it doesn't matter what the 2 are. One of them has to be blue. But that gives you, the mana. Instead of using all of your simians, this gives you at least 1 left, essentially, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to do it that way. Like, I don't know if it matters too much.
Oh, is he keeping that blue up for Pact?
Maybe, or keeping 1...
For Angel's Grace. He's
keeping
it up to kind of keep his options open on what...
Right, so we can say, here's 2 simians removed, 1 off the Pentad Prism, cast Laboratory Maniac, have 1 less left in case I need to use an Angel's Grace.
Yep.
I'd like to cast this. And a draw spell. That's true. Okay. That's what it is. Yeah. Okay. He still had the serum. If you draw a card when you have no cards left in your library, you win.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
There you go.
So he's trying to go off that turn, and that was... there's Abrupt Decay that doesn't hit Leyline, sadly. So, Jeremy Miller, Season 1 champion, coming back at it. Well, we gotta do that. Yeah, do that first. Tough match. I like both of their deck choices.
True.
I feel like there's not much you can do when you're just facing down a ley line like that, and your deck needs to disrupt a combo.
Yeah, I mean, I think
disrupt the combo.
I think we saw really what Lantern Control's trying to get out of the Ad Nauseam matchup in the first game, and then Leyline of Sanctity was pretty much the killer.
Yeah.
Those last two games.
So we got some updates.
So
we know Jeremy Miller takes it 2-1. Down on the bottom, Keenan falls 2-0 to Dwayne.
I believe it was 2-0.
Turns out, Chalice of the Void, really good against Burn.
That's pretty good.
When most of your deck's sitting with like 1-drops, you're not going to have a good time. Up on the top, though, the end boss wins 2-1.
With his El Grazi.
The road to El Grazi.
This is a nice little program.
You like that?
Yeah.
I used to use it for StarCraft stuff back in the day.
It's nice.
So
here we are.
Versus TJ, Jeremy versus Dwayne. Two champions battling it out versus one champion and one man on the way to try to be a champion.
Yeah.
I don't remember which semifinal we have next, but we get to see both of them.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, also shield your eyes. Don't look.
Oh, yeah, don't do that. Is it round 2?
Yeah, I think it's round 2.
Close
Don't
your
look, don't look.